the reality is for the last 10 plus years, with the exception of 2015, this is the side of the ball that's kept Notre Dame from really getting over the hump in a lot of games. You talk about Georgia, and since 2017, Georgia has been one of the top 3 or 4 programs in the country, right?
Mhm.
Made a playoff berth in 2017 and went to overtime against Bama. Obviously, they were back in the playoff in 2021, won a championship, won a playoff game, or went to the playoffs again this year, won a championship. So you're talking about a team that in the last 5 years, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, so the last 6 years has been in the national championship game 3 times. In those 6 years, Notre Dame played them 2 different times, including a year they didn't make the playoff and went 12-2. And in those years, Notre Dame had the ball in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, less than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, with a chance where a touchdown wins the game. And in both times, they failed. And that's been true against Clemson in 2020 in the ACC title game. It was true against Alabama in the 2020 Rose Bowl. It was true against Clemson in the 2018 playoff game. It's been true in almost every big game they've played. Miami, 2017. The defense kept them in that game as long as they could. It was the offense with a couple pick sixes and just not being able to score that allowed that game to become a rout. And so this is the side of the ball that you got to look at, Ryan, and say, it's not until this group gets going that they can win, because here's the reality of it, Ryan. I even today on Twitter, I had someone that said, defense wins championships. And look, I understand that people still think that this is 1985 and they still live in this mantra of defense wins championships. But look, I'm going to say this, this isn't even debatable right now, in my opinion. You need a very good defense to get to the playoff. 100%. Notre Dame, arguably their 2 best defensive teams the last 6 years, arguably were the 2 years they went to the playoff. I think 2020 they were aided by a weak schedule and some luck in the regular season with Clemson being out so many of their top players. You have to have a great defense to run through a 12-game gauntlet. You have to be able to make stops. In the playoff and championship game, you have to be able to make some key stops. But at the end of the day, you're not winning playoff games and championship games 20-17. It's just not. The only 2 low-scoring title games were years where it was 2 SEC teams playing each other. Every other year, you're talking about needing to score in the 40s. I'm going to give you the score, the points scored by the team that won the playoff game since 2014. 59, 42, 37, 38, 24, 31, 54, 24, 45, 30, 63, 29, 31, 49, 27, 34, and then this year, 51 and 42. Here's the point total of the team that won the championship game in the title game. 42, 45, 35, 26, 2 SEC teams. 44, 42, 52, 33, 2 SEC teams. 65. Now, the 65 that was just a Georgia brought their A game. TCU didn't come to play. It's not a 65-7 difference in talent. It's not. It's a significant difference in talent, but it was a bad day for TCU and a great day for Georgia. Point being, you have to score. Simple as that. If you can't score, can't win a championship. And so until Notre Dame gets their offense to the point where they can go toe-to-toe with Clemson, with those teams, and be able to put points on the board, this team's not going to be competing for championships. So